Guys, I'm super happy to have you guys here. Just take an opportunity to kind of share a little bit of the backstory of how this relationship came about and the Fort Collective and just why we're sitting here. The first question that probably we should start off with, since you've already been in a couple of the videos, is who is this guy with this Australian accent?
Right.
You know?
He gets that a lot.
Yeah,
I do.
Is it real?
He's a bit of a novelty that I take around. But
I'm sure
please
he
let
is,
him
yeah.
answer.
No, it's true, actually.
It is.
I can just answer it this way. Every time I come and I'm here for the fort, we're doing different things. So many people go, are you an actor or is that a real accent? and why would you come all the way here from Australia to do something? So that might answer your question a little bit.
Yeah.
Why would I come all the way from Australia? Well, give me a bit of a backstory really quickly. About 10 years ago, I met a gentleman at a speaking conference that I was, he was a pastor and I was speaking at the same conference. And we became friends, and he's from a church here in Chillicothe. And we just got along well, and through him and another associate of his, I met Steve.
Yeah.
And then from that point on, I would come out 3, maybe 4 times a year.
Probably
for consulting.
Yeah.
That's a long way to come from Australia.
Right.
And then eventually over the years, I started to develop a love for this community and for the people, and I started to get a heart for revitalization in the sense of a smaller city getting a chance to move away from its poor standards or its problems into better things. And so Steve and I would then start talking. So probably the last 4 or 5 years we've had discussions about doing something like this project.
Yeah.
What's interesting too is as he would travel, it was, you know, being from here, you're sometimes too close to stuff. So he would come and he would say, you know, I'm really seeing things that are starting to happen.
Yeah.
I'm feeling things that are important. And he was always able to give that perspective that's harder when you're here.
Absolutely.
And that was kind of easily married into other thoughts and ideas because there were positive things that you were starting to see, and he had that perspective.
Yeah.
So the process for us moving forward, again, Alan and I have been together for probably close to 10 years now, and I've been, originally from this area and have had just really some great opportunities and fortune with businesses and multiple businesses that have really grown and prospered in this area. As a result of that, and continuing to work with Alan, the idea of kind of creating opportunities then for us to invest, and I mean between the two of us at this point, we've had probably 30 or 40 different companies we've either started up or grown and sold and other things. So we had always felt in that relationship that we needed to do something that was specific to here and specific to kind of our purpose and our vision for not just investing in something trying to make money, but really investing in something that creates a positive impact on the communities and creates hope and inspires people to do great things. So I'm actually part of multiple different investment companies, but this was something that we were really focused on that really came from the core of what we both believe in. And now how do we start to really pursue and look at opportunities to do something with that?
Yeah.
And probably a month or 2 after we really started, I had a big transaction for me that really helped change my personal dynamic and everything else when I sold a large portion of my main company. And literally as we started talking, all right, now we've got resources to do, it wasn't a month or 2 later that you two crossed paths, and I fast forward to finding myself in a really cool place with a really cool story to tell. So.
And I'll interject there. I'll say simultaneously.
You talk about how that happened.
Yeah, well, I'll even back up too, because simultaneously, over the last 4 or 5 years, as that's developing for you guys, my wife and I are from Columbus. I'm originally from small town, northern Ohio, actually.
Yeah.
But, lived in Columbus for the last 12 years, and simultaneously, we were, about 4 years ago, in the launching phase of the fort in Columbus.
Absolutely.
And, crazy story short, the bottom fell out, and we found ourselves with an opportunity to do a shop, just a standalone coffee shop here in Chillicothe. And within about 15 minutes of seeing the space and kind of visiting, it was kind of a done deal, and with really no more thought into it. We love the area. We have a lot of friends and family from the area, so we'd been looking and kind of open to that opportunity, and at that point it just felt right. So simultaneously on my end, there were things happening that just were kind of pivoting everybody to this point where you and I ultimately connected.
So you've been here, you were here 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I first met, I don't know if you remember, I first met Trent through Bryce.
Yeah.
When you first opened.
Yeah,
within a few
it was
months.
within a month or two.
Yeah, and it was like, and that was I think the last time I probably ever saw you, in that sense of getting introduced and talking to you, and I thought, oh, this is great. Here's someone that's come down here, they're thinking about small business, same way I do, in the sense of building something up.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until, what was it, October last year?
Yeah, that's when things really started to move forward.
Yeah, when I was
late
coming
summer.
back from a big day with you, and I felt this leading to just go and have a good cup of coffee. And to me personally, being from Australia, that's the best place for coffee. I mean, there's other coffee shops, but I'm a coffee snob, so that's where I knew I could get it. And so I just arrived there, and then you were behind the machine, but I didn't remember it was you.
Yeah.
Until the policeman came behind, who remembered me and said
Came
a couple
looking for
things.
you.
Yeah, and then, no, not John.
Separate story.
James,
That's
who
a
was
separate
working
story.
for you,
Yeah.
remembered me as well from sometimes when I've done talks. And you then went, oh, who are you? Let's talk. And we sat down, and Trent shared his whole heart, his vision, not knowing that what we'd already been planning. And I'm like, this is like a divine moment, if you could say that. But
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
So what is this? Right?
What is
that,
this?
that there's no question we were sitting at this table for a purpose that we saw happening around us. But what do we all feel this is for not just us, but really for the community, and what does this what is this going to do, and what is this going to look like?
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, personally speaking, what it is for me, and I can probably speak on behalf of my wife Hillary as well. We've had this wild dream for years, and and we've just been these. I've had this entrepreneurial spirit that's just driven us through a lot of ups and downs, and we've fought hard to hold on for dreams and to build things, and so. Personally speaking, the culmination of the Fort Collective really materializing and being here, sitting here on the verge of this, for me is I feel like I kind of reference to a lot of equity, a lot of life equity. We've been given, just like a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of business owners, we've been given every reason to give up. Yeah. But as we've persevered and really believed in the heart of what we're doing and why we're doing it, not necessarily, I love coffee, I love the business aspect, but I love the purpose behind it, and really reminding ourselves every single day of what that is, gave us kind of the ability to hold on to what we're doing here, and the narrative of, I think I said this a couple weeks ago in the piece that I wrote, but Totem has an awesome shirt that says Chillicothe is for dreamers. Yeah. And I love it, but I'd love that to grow into Chillicothe is not just for dreamers, but it's a place where dreams become true and a reality, and that's ultimately, if I had to put a personal spin on what this is, that's what this is. Yeah. So.
Yeah, for me, there's a couple of things. One is that when I was talking with Trent that first time, something ignited in my spirit to do with your dream and everything else in your vision. So for me, the investing money and time into something as big a project as this, that originally started off as a small one, and then we've gone bigger, and I believe we've been called to be bigger for an impact and for the community. But and I remember talking to my wife, Anne-Marie, and it's like, we believe in you. And we really wanted to support, and that's one of the things we're talking about, support young entrepreneurs, business people, because I truly believe that businesses can change a community.
Absolutely.
They just can. Because they have the resources, they have the ability to do that, they touch so many people. So one, it was believing in you. That's, I think, the main reason I've probably put my signature on what I've needed to do. But the second thing is the community. I've been involved in 2 other cities that do similar things to this, and they've revitalized. But it's the side effects of the revitalization. It's not just the building and the profitability from businesses, which has to happen, but the communities get affected. Poverty drops. the drug addictions drop,
drops.
crime rate drops,
Yeah.
and it's actually happening in some of these other cities. So for me, I've just got a heart for Chillicothe, a heart for you and your family and what's happening and what you're going to do in here, but also a heart for the effect of the community and not just jobs. That's
Right.
that's a great thing
that's
to
part of it,
provide jobs
but,
and,
yeah.
and to drive the economy up, but also to be a place that, and we keep talking about it as family. It's like a place where people are going to come to and they actually, it's corny, but they feel different.
Absolutely.
They kind of feel like, oh, this is nice. I like this. It's been done with excellence.
Yeah.
It's done with pleasure. But there's like an atmosphere that they like to hang out in. And,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're probably the two main reasons for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, for me, being from here, longer than you guys, it's this is tough. I'm originally from Southern Ohio, a little farther south of here, but I go to church here, my wife and I, and we have for a long time now, and it's always been about, people talk about, hey, wouldn't it be great if General Motors put a plant here or different things like that, and we always think those would be great, but I've always felt that our purpose was focused on just partnering with each other and doing the things that are hitting the singles or the doubles, and here's 10 jobs, here's 20 jobs, here's a new opportunity, and that's the real inspiration that we've had of just working together as a community, supporting each other. And again, I've had opportunities to do a lot of great things, but this is the kind of facility and the kind of purpose where, again, what I think and this will also sound corny, but I think part of what we're wanting to do is we're wanting to create hope.
Yes.
We're wanting to take opportunities where, this was a vacant lot,
Yeah.
right? And from what I found out after I bought it was a vacant lot that didn't have the best reputation over the years.
Yeah.
But the reality is turning something like that into what's going to be a really cool facility that was a tad bit more than I think we originally thought it was going to be, but that's okay. But the reality is what can come from that and the opportunities that are created from that. Again, that's us, sowing seeds back into the community that we, at this point all love and respect and want to create those opportunities that breaks the spirit of poverty, that does the things that are important. Again, my family, my wife's family, we're all from this area, and we've seen people go to Columbus for jobs, and we've seen those things. But this is an opportunity where we can work together in a really cool environment that creates entrepreneurship, that creates mentorship. Us working with you and the tenants and the people that come to this facility, we want to partner with them. We want people to literally not be able to stay very long in this retail space we're sitting in right now because their business has grown and they need a shop on Paint Street or they need something else.
Yeah.
And we really want to partner with that. That's, I think, part of what I believe makes this place different is, hey, you can come and get a space and you can come and have great coffee and a great meal, but at the same time, you're going to be surrounded by people who really want to sow into your success, that have skills and capabilities that are going to help you do things that hopefully you never even thought about. And who knows what the outcome will be, but I'm certainly excited about it. I'm really excited to be part of it with you two guys.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of fun, and I just look forward to what lies ahead.
In fact, we do that often when we're in the office and we'll be talking about other types of jobs and businesses that are simply for
Correct.
Investment and prosperity and things like that. But then there's other times I go, okay, now let's talk about the fun ones. And this is one of the fun
We have
ones.
a different side of the
Different side of the board.
whiteboard.
This is the fun one. So
Yeah.
whenever we just go, no, let's talk about one of the fun ones, and this is a fun one. I'm actually looking forward to the long term as well.
Yeah.
A lot of businesses are short term and they try to have exit strategies and sell out. This has been developed, as we know, long term, and I think for our relationship as well, but then for others as we grow. It's not something that's just here for 1 year or 2 years.
No,
It's
absolutely
long. Longevity of it is, I think, is the key.
Yeah.
I think then areas when they see, because as an outsider coming into the town,
You're not going to be able to say that for too much longer.
too much longer. I think mindsets will get changed over a period of time, not by us pushing anything in front of someone, but being of service.
Absolutely.
We actually, this whole place is going to be about serving people, and so
That's true investment.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, good food, good coffee, good environment, but at the same time, really investing in what is important and what is meaningful. For us, as we've talked about this is a model that is scalable. I mean, again, you're talking about the future, and we gotta cross the finish line on this one, right? We keep reminding ourselves. But this is certainly something that we would envision doing other things with, and looking at other locations and opportunities around here. And even on this property, as we know, we strategically located this in a way that we still have a large portion of this what was that vacant lot for further development as well. Again, depending on what we see, the real opportunity here, and what really inspires us from coming out of here. So we're just starting with the fun ones.
And this is home for me and my family now. We initially rented a house down here when we first opened up the standalone roast coffee store, and what was going to be a year, and then we were going back to Columbus, to keep growing things and redo and kind of revamp the fort back there. And now, this is home, and we can't imagine being anywhere else. And too, this is home for roast coffee. We're moving all of our production on site.
Absolutely, that's going to be
really
interesting.
This will be, a flagship location for roast coffee that, as we grow from here, we're growing as a Chillicothe product.
Right.
So whether we go to other cities or not.
Or even other nations.
Other nations, we get our coffee in Australia.
Yeah, of course.
Canada.
So you're gonna actually roast it. Right over there.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it here.
We've been saying you're gonna be on sensory overload when you come in here. So now, when speaking specifically about this space here and what we're getting ready to do here in Chillicothe, I would say personally, obviously, I'm super excited about the growth of Roast Coffee, roastery and cafe, being the flagship store, having roasting on site, expanding into a full kitchen, being able to deliver a really unique cafe experience, very original to the area. I'm super excited about that, but really excited just from the entrepreneurial aspect of what this facility really is going to have to offer, and kind of the culture we're looking at developing here with startup and with innovation, and with entrepreneurism, developing leaders. Personally speaking, obviously, holding on to a dream and having that entrepreneurial spirit and having things kind of come to fruition. I'm wanting to replicate that. I want this place, I want, graphic designers, freelancers, photographers, tech startup companies to come in here and feel like, I don't have to go to Columbus to start my business and to launch this dream. It can be done right here.
There's no reason it can't be.
And
creating an environment here, like with some co-working space or some stuff that we're talking about here, to create that. Come in, find yourself with like-minded people. And I know the one thing that I'm looking forward to with some of the office space that we have in addition is, so we've got tenants that are going to be here longer term, but part of what is, I think, really interesting to me is, so how do we, again, as using our experience and our mentorship and everything else to support those tenants. And we've talked about, business seminars, and we've got a full kind of agenda of things we want to do globally, and use this as a hub for that as well. But I really want to spend time with people in the office space, and I really want, let's talk about business plans. Let's talk about the things that are going on with them right now. And again, I think that's it's hard to explain to people, but I think that's what I'm trying to show as unique about this place. It's not just 4 walls and here's a lease agreement and I got some good food and good coffee and everything else. That's all, you get all that. But there's also a partnership with us to really help people understand, use some of our experience, use some of our financial connections or relationships to do things that maybe they never even thought about 3 months before they moved in here. And then, there's other things that are going on here too.
Yeah, but I mean, even in that, normal businesses are isolated all the time, and that's the thing we're wanting to do different, so that their dreams, their goals. We've even talked about it, maybe this is going to be on a video, but the sense of pitch nights and things like
Absolutely.
that. How we can be assisting and helping people to grow way beyond here. And besides all of that, I actually am really excited is about the coffee. I love coffee because, for 2 reasons. One, because Trent's already established himself here. He's already gone through a proof of concept of business for years.
It's a great product.
Doing the great product and the high quality that it is. And even the following he's got behind him. But here he's got an opportunity for that to I see, expand to a broader community of people, a broader community of people that can start to experience the high level of coffee that is served here. Plus, because of the roaster and a live roaster, I really want to be able to see people have a greater appreciation. There is a big difference between a bad coffee and a good coffee.
Absolutely.
Trent is a master at that. He's very good at that. And then on top of that, I love the fact that there's going to be food. We might
That goes
always
without
find them
saying,
here
doesn't it?
eating. I might
That
not
goes
be anywhere
without
else.
saying.
Yeah.
Of course there's going to be food.
So good food, good availability for all of that in the cafe style. So I'm loving that. And then just to finish off, the retail, which all three of us agree to this, the reason that we designed the retails to be right next to open door to the rest is we want prosperity for both.
Right.
We want anyone that comes in for coffee to then see the retail stores and be able to go in and purchase and do that. Anyone who comes to the retail specifically then sees it's a coffee shop and something to eat. And so we get a crossover of
I've tried to say the indoor mall concept just because that helps make sense in my mind when I'm trying to explain to people. But literally, just people in retail space that have the advantage of having traffic come in that's associated with what you're doing and the coffee spot, space and everything else. And I just think that's, again, unique. I think they'll benefit from that. The coffee and the cafe will benefit from folks coming in. And again, it is part of what we're saying the whole time, which is it's about us all working together to make everybody successful. And that's what's really cool. And I just really look forward to the ribbon cutting, the I don't know, do we bust some?
We can bust some
Cubano
bottles.
bottles on the side?
Yeah, why
I don't
not?
think we're actually, I think we'd have to clean that up or whatever. And I certainly would have to be empty because I would not want
No, we don't
actual
waste any.
Cubano to go on that because that stuff, I would mainline that if I could. But anyway, that's really good stuff.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you guys sitting down, and taking this time to kind of just chat a little bit just about this and, taking the opportunity to really get the message out of who we are and why we're doing what we're doing and just a little more heart behind the project. And I know there's been a lot of questions and a lot of excitement. And,
It's hard to explain. I had, we all do it individually and everything else because what we think is this is pretty unique. And not like unique, like it's never been done anywhere in the world, but certainly unique to this area. And we all know we're still, molding it and making it make the right sense to us. So I just appreciate the opportunity to work with you guys. This was a lot of fun.
It's good. And this was great that we just talked and
absolutely.
Maybe we'll talk some more with some tangible examples of stuff that's happening as we move forward and just keep the dialogue going because we do want to spread the word. And, we want other forts. We want other things that are happening. We want prosperity across the board.
Yeah, absolutely.
And from the response of the community, we're getting the same feedback because we're 80% leased up on all the things and people wanting to come in, so the demand's there. So they're keen. People are really keen to come in.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yep.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks.
Thanks again, and we'll probably have to carve out some time once we get this thing completed and talk a little bit more and maybe share a little bit more about how things are going.
Bring
that,
Cabanas
and we'll always be here.
We'll talk about it.
I know where to get them. So, thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, well,
Thank you.
great.